about to listen to the Dr. Daliah Show. Sassy, stimulating medical talk radio. Any medical advice Dr. Daliah Wax gives on her show should not be substituted for an actual visit to your medical provider. And now, here's Dr. Daliah.
All right, we are back on the Dr. Daliah Show. Thank you all for tuning in. 1-877-Dr. 1-877-DOCDALI. So I have said for years that I think we are expecting too much out of our multivitamins, and that these multivitamins may not be all that. They may not be doing what you think they need to be doing. Some of them might even hurt. Well, another study has come out saying these daily multivitamins are not helping you live longer, and might not be, improving your longevity. Now, I'm not anti-multivitamin. If you love your multivitamin and you swear by your multivitamin and you love it, stick with it. If it's not hurting you, I don't have a problem with it. But I do have a problem with is our multi-billion-dollar vitamin industry and how confusing it can be for the average consumer to figure it out what it is they need. And these commercials saying you need this, you need this. I mean, vitamins has been, the root of a lot of snake oil back in the olden days. Well, you need this, you need that, your nutritional supplementation is an art, and it is a very important part of medicine. You supplementing magnesium or calcium or vitamin D if you're deficient is a must. But the industry is needing to make money. And what do? They convince you that you need the gummies, you need these vitamins, you need the liquid vitamins, you need the ground up powders, you need and so you get sucked into this. And has anybody really studied it? And my nose is running. Has anybody really studied it to find out if we could be actually hurting ourselves? So this latest study, I think comes out of the National Institute of Health. Researchers from the NIH analyzed more than 20 years worth of data from 400,000 healthy U.S. adults, concluding that taking multivitamins did not reduce mortality risk. No shock there. We've seen studies saying that. In fact, I think the United States Preventative Services Task Force, the USPTF, the United States. Hey, I can have a Biden moment. The United States Preventative Services Task Force, I believe, says it's insufficient data to recommend daily multivitamins for everybody. I had a lisp. I'm allowed to still get, my lisp in and out of there. If you don't like me saying U.S., that's tough. Okay, I got a lisp. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. The analysis showed that people who took daily multivitamins did not have a lower risk of death from any cause than people who took no multivitamins. No differences in cancer, heart disease, cerebral vascular diseases. Those who those who took daily multivitamins were actually found to have a 4% higher mortality risk, according to the study. Now, the study was published in JAMA Network Open. And guys, you have to call the show. Don't call me. 1-877-Doc-Dolly. I don't know how you guys get my cell phone. All right. How old were the participants? The average age of the participants were 61 and a half. 164,762 deaths occurred during the follow-up period that they studied. The study followed a 2022 analysis from the U.S. Preventative Services Task Force, or the USPSTF, no lisp, there you go, which concluded that there was insufficient evidence to determine whether multivitamin use improved mortality. They already adjusted for factors of race, ethnicity, education, nutrition, but finding that mortality possibly increased, it starts to make you wonder, what the hell are we doing? All right, so what do we take from this? Number one, if your medical provider wants you on a regimen and it's not something they're benefiting from, like they're selling it out of their, this is something that they feel is a brand that's going to do well for you, so you know that there's objectivity and no secondary gain, then that's between you and your medical provider. But we got to take these studies with a grain of salt. And we also have to take, what we're being peddled with a grain of salt. And we need to understand exactly what is going on here. If we saw a higher risk of mortality in people who took multivitamins, does that mean, A, the multivitamins are hurting us? Is the chalk of some of these vitamins depositing in our arteries? Is it depositing in our kidneys? Like, you know how vitamin C tablets could cause kidney stones? And the chalky calcium tablets could cause issues with your your coronary arteries? Is it that? Is it that they're actually hurting us? Or is it that the average person who has taken a multivitamin eats like crap? And they are going to a bottle of gummy vitamins to hopefully manage their nutrition so they can eat meat and potatoes and junk food. Now, I know very healthy people that take multivitamins, but I also know unhealthy people that do. And when I ask, patients, how's your nutrition? What's your diet like? They're like, oh, it's good. I take a multivitamin every day. They think popping a pill is going to manage their health. The studies say, no, it doesn't. But what I've always said is what you think you're getting in pill form is not equitable to what you're getting in natural form. Your fish oil from a fish is a little different than what you get with these little capsules, which, by the way, could also have concentrated mercury in them. What you get in terms of eating a turnip or an onion or a carrot cannot be replicated in a gummy vitamin. And so if you're thinking you're getting your fish oils, your vitamin A, your B, your whole B complex, your C, your D, your zinc, your E, and if you think you're getting everything in a bottle, think again. And the other thing, too, is we are assuming that our bodies, like the artificial forms, your body doesn't know what to do with a gummy vitamin. It might be smart enough to pull out some of the things as it digests it, but your body wants vegetables. It wants fiber. It wants fish. It wants dairy. A pill for calcium does not give everything that dairy has. I mean, look at what breast milk has. Breast milk has antibodies, nutrients, fat. The composition, you can't replicate that in a pill. So talk to your medical provider, but before you buy something, do your research. And eat well. 1-877-DOC-DALIAH.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save the typical family $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The customer satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. MediShare works. It's been around for more than a quarter century, and members have shared more than $3 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. 855-SHARE-40. That's 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE-40.
Hey guys, it's Dr. Daliah. Fantasy football season is coming, but sadly, too many of you are taking the bench while the country takes part in one of the most exciting and lucrative industries out there. Don't know how to play? Well, huddle up and listen. Paul Kalikas and I have written a fantasy football pocket guide for beginners. This book walks you through the basics and shows you how simple and lucrative joining or creating a fantasy football team can be. Read our Fantasy Football Pocket Guide for Beginners found on Amazon, or follow the links on X and Facebook. That's Fantasy Football Pocket Guides for Beginners. Don't be left out.
In a study, it was found that 33% of 44 herbal supplements had no trace of the advertised herb. Don't let that happen to you. Hi, this is Dr. Mitch. If you want to ensure quality, please go to TotalWellness.com. Supplements made for physicians, only now available to you too. TotalWellness.com, helping you to look good, feel good, and enjoy total wellness.
All right. We are back on the Dr. Daliah Show. Thank you all for tuning in. 1-877-Doc-Dali, 1-877-DOCDALI. Big thanks to Talk Media Network for making the show happen, and big thanks to Daniel, our producer. So, we talk about cougars. We talk about robbing the cradle. Let's have a conversation about dating somebody who's half your age or a third of your age. Why would we be bringing this up? Because every day we are seeing headlines about Bill Belichick, right, former Patriots coach, and his new girlfriend. I think Bill Belichick is 72 years old, and his new girlfriend is 23 years old. I'm happy for them. If they found love, good for them. But I know a lot of people are bringing up the ick factor. She's an adult. She's not a minor. We have laws to protect minors. And I know there's some 16-year-olds that'll fall in love with older men or older women. All right? There's laws protecting minors. But, if she's into Bill Belichick, a Patriots fan maybe, power to them. But do we ever talk to people about what they need to think about if they are going to date somebody that is a lot younger than them? People ask me, if Corey ever dumped me, would I date somebody my age or somebody younger? Okay, now, you guys know my age. It's not good. It's not good. I don't think there's a lot of people around my age. That's a problem. I might be forced to date younger, honestly. Right? There's fewer and fewer population that is going to be my age. God forbid that happens. But I could not date somebody. I mean, if somebody was a few years younger than me, like Jimmy Garoppolo was a couple years younger than me, maybe. Jimmy Garoppolo, I don't care. He could be 89. I'd date him in a heartbeat. But Viggo Mortensen is older than me. Viggo Mortensen is 13 years older than me. No. Yeah, he was born. Yeah. So he's 30. Yeah, he's 30. Yeah, would I date Viggo Mortensen? Absolutely in a heartbeat. As long as we get to role play some Lord of the Rings scenes. Yeah. But, when you have a 72-year-old and a 23-year-old, or a 50-year-old and a 25-year-old, dating somebody half your age or a third of your age can come with some risks. And so, there's, I don't know if they've really studied the sweet spot. Modern Family, right? When you had the Pritchett's, right, where Gloria and I forget who Ed O'Neill played. There's obviously a significant age difference, probably about maybe 20 years between the two, maybe 15 to 20 years between the two. I think there is a sweet spot as to the length of time. And then I think when you go beyond that, it's a little bit more risky. So the first thing you have to ask is, what are you trying to get out of the relationship? If you're trying to get out of the relationship, youth, more sex, somebody more spunky, you have all this energy, you were with somebody that never wanted to go anywhere with you, and now you want to travel, and you have, you don't feel your age, and you want to be out there doing things, and you want somebody who has similar energy, okay, there's an argument to date somebody younger. But if you're wanting to be with that person so they take care of you, so they will always be there for you, okay, that could be a little tricky. Okay, let's say that younger person wants to have children, and you are at the age where either you can't biologically or you don't want to. Is that person going to stay? Getting the baby bug, or, getting the I want to be a father bug, that's very transient. That's why we need to be very, very careful with gender affirming care and assuming that a child may not want fertility later. And, we got to always preserve the fertility because people change their mind about that. And so when you do have somebody more youthful, when that baby, and sometimes it's very biological or it's very instinctive, that could be a problem. And if you're looking for longevity, that's an issue because you're going to be older when they leave you, not younger when they leave you because you keep aging. If you are looking for somebody who will outlive you. And a lot of people do that. They don't want to bury another spouse. they want to leave first, and they want somebody there for their family, for that. I mean, that could work. But again, if that person is with you because they think you're vibrant and youthful, and do they want to be a caretaker? Being a caretaker of a spouse can be a 24/7 job. And if they're in college or trying to get their family started or trying to get their career started, they may not be on the same page. And so if you are, of advanced age, you do have to have some honest conversations. Let's say we have a cougar situation where we have a woman who is menopausal and she's dating a 20-some-year-old male. Well, as you guys know, I've expressed a lot of my own personal issues. Okay, menopause is not fun. Menopause is not easy. Menopause causes some changes. Your body, your dexterity. All right, you may not be as limber. Your breasts may become a little bit more pendulous and not as perky. I mean, thank God we have cosmetic surgery available, but still. And then in terms of sex drive could change. And so if your younger paramour, wants a 25-year-old sex drive, they may not get that from a 45-year-old or a 55-year-old, etc. Also your goals in terms of career, your goals in terms of money, in terms of savings, those are things that, are you going to get dumped because you're on Social Security? You're not working. And I'm not saying you can't find somebody who will love you, but these are things that might come up that people don't think about. Somebody might be dating a 60-year-old and say, this 60-year-old is hot. I can live with them. I don't care because they age well. They'll look good in their 70s. They'll look good in their 80s. But if they're thinking that they're going to have a parent now, the father or mother of their child, who's going to be able to do this, and this with them, and they can't because that person is starting to age and not be able to have the stamina to do some of the things that, young kids may need, that could change things. And so I'm not saying not to date somebody that's younger than you, but these are conversations that have to happen because you being dumped because of your age really wrecks your confidence. And when people get abandoned from somebody who they thought loved them and didn't care about those other things, and then those other things come into play, it could be a big reality. And for a younger person to commit to already advancing 20, 30 years in terms of the relationship mode, no kids, no travel, they might not understand what they could be getting into. And I'm not saying all older individuals may be like this. I know a lot of older individuals that are traveling and they're doing everything, and good for them. But there's a lot of pressure. And the other thing that's very important that I tell my patients is you need to be true to who you are. If you are 67 or 72, it's okay to be 62 or 72 or whatever. Look, I can't even remember. It's okay. But if you're going to try to be 27, you're not going to be happy. If somebody said, Daliah, Jimmy Garoppolo will date you, but you got to act like you're 25. That's hard to keep up. Okay, you guys laugh. It could happen. Jimmy Garoppolo could say, you know what? Yes, I'm not really doing much in football these days, although I think he's with the Rams. Daliah, come out. Let's give it a try. It could happen. But if I had to act like I'm 25, that's not me. I mean, I want to, you know what I really want to do tonight? Now that I'm a little tired from traveling, I want to see the second episode of House of Dragons because I missed it. And I would just want to sit there with some dinner, maybe some arroz con pollo, my little bowl of chicken and cheese and rice, comfort, sit there with the dog. And that's what I want to do tonight. But if you're expecting me to hit the clubs and shave my legs and get into a mini skirt and wear my leather boots, I don't think I could do that tonight. And so you have to live a life that you can live because you can't, a lot of us will attract somebody and will hide our crazy or will pretend. You know what? Politics isn't that important to me. I don't care if, you're a supporter of Biden or Trump. I just love you. We'll be fine. And then all of a sudden things come out. You could only suppress so much. And so, can you fall in love with somebody older? Absolutely. No, you can't. Can you fall in love with somebody younger? Yes. If that's who you want, if you guys are on the same, you have a lot of mature 22-year-olds and you have a lot of youthful 70-year-olds. It can happen. But, before you commit and get yourself entwined into something that could be a little difficult to unentwine, these are some things you need to think about. Are they really going to be there for you till death do you part, in sickness and in health? 1-877 Doc Daliah. Hi guys, Dr. Daliah here. Addictions can sneak up on us and come in many forms, whether it's drugs, alcohol, sex, video games, porn, or something less obvious such as food, internet, or shopping. Addiction can seem innocent at first and then evolve into an insurmountable evil. In our book, Addiction Basics, Caitlin Kalikas and I dive into the common addictions and provide tips for identifying and preventing these before they sneak in and take over our lives. Addiction Basics can be found on Amazon or my website, drdaliah.com. Check it out.
Carl Amari here to tell you about our newest website for old-time radio lovers. It's 100radioshows.com. At this site, there are 5 old-time radio shows waiting for you to download free as our gift to you, and be sure to browse the additional 700 old-time radio shows available to you for 70% off by using the promo code RADIO at checkout. This is a limited-time offer, so log on to 100radioshows.com. That's 100radioshows.com.
All right. We are back on Dr. Daliah Show. Thank you all for tuning in. 1-877 Dr. Daliah, 1-877-DOCDALI. So I've traveled a lot recently, and there's something that confuses me. Now, I could get confused pretty easily, but usually with all the education and all the reading and stuff, I could usually figure things out and end the confusion. But there's something about pilots that confuses me. And I have friends who are pilots, so I need to talk to them because I really want to know what the hell is going on. But have you guys ever been in the situation, I'm sure you have, because it happens in every flight, where you're on a flight for 4 hours, 5 hours, 8 hours, even 2, and the pilot gets on near the end of the flight, and they'll say, "We've begun our official descent." And they're like, "Okay." And they'll say, "It looks like we're going to be coming in approximately 1 minute early." You're like, "Okay, I'm not sure why that took time, because don't they have all these computers and like GPS? GPS tells me when I'm going to make it to my mom's house, right?" And then they go, "And the weather is, well, looks sunny." You have full view. Okay, I'm not saying this to make fun of pilots, but we're descending. You think it looks sunny? What's going on here? Are there curtains? And temperature 72 degrees. Yep, looks like it's going to be a good day. We've begun our initial descent. It's been a pleasure with you flying with Southwest Airlines or American or whatever. And what confuses me is the delay. It's almost like they're reading it. And I'm confused because haven't they been flying the whole time? They almost seem confused. And I'm not saying this to make fun of pilots. I love pilots and I'm very grateful. But you would think if that person was commanding the plane and piloting this vessel that is thousands of feet in the air, they would get on going, "All right, guys, you know what? The last 5 hours have been awesome. We are seeing the city. We are descending. We are going to land at this time. We've got it. We are on it." No, well, I think we're going to make it. And somebody could say, well, maybe they're calculating. maybe they're looking up when the plane was supposed to land. So they're calculating that maybe we're 15 minutes early, and that's why you hear the and I guess but no, my question then is, what have they been doing this whole time? And then what are they reading off of? It almost sounds like they're looking away from the windshield to look at what they're doing. You don't have to calculate. It's okay. If you don't know when we're going to land, and there's not like a GPS on the dashboard, just keep going. It's okay. But it almost seems like somebody tells them, get on the mic or get on the loudspeaker and speak to the passengers. And then they don't sound prepared for the speech. You've had 5 hours to prepare for the speech. Right? Most of us know what the temperature is going to, and I get maybe, just a minute. Temperature could change by the minute. Climate changes. We know climate can change, but they sound unprepared. And I always ask myself, then what have you been doing? Now, is it the guy in the jump seat? Could it be that the pilots are working? They know what's going on, but Bert got to have a free flight in the jump seat, and they're like, you know what? We're putting you to work. Take the mic, take the comm, and go tell the passengers what we're doing. Okay, it looks like we've begun our official descent, and we're going to get there approximately 2 minutes early. No, 1 minute early. And temperature should be good. I mean, it looks like just either you know or you don't know. And I'm always confused by that. And I understand that some pilots, need to pass the time and they'll talk to each other. And maybe it's, hey, Bob, we're landing. So go tell, okay, where are we? Maybe they're, but I just always find that a little odd. And I love pilots, grateful for them, but they always do that. And it just seems to me like either somebody's not paying attention or they haven't had enough time to prepare. And so my recommendation, to pilots is it worries some of us who thinks, that you're a little bit shocked that we're descending into Las Vegas and that there's going to be 10% humidity and the temperature is going to be about 110 degrees. I mean, I think the whole world knows that. I mean, it's all over the place. So maybe just a little bit more. Hey, guys, I've been working on this speech for the last 5 hours because we've had nothing better to do but fly a plane. Okay, so confidence is a must. Here you go. This is what we're doing. I'm not going to say, I'm not going to say, I think, well, it looks like maybe just, okay, you're the pilot. You do what you want. If we're going to pass by a McDonald's, that's fine. You're the pilot. You're in charge. You can tell us we're going to pass by a McDonald's. Totally fine. Totally fine. We're all hungry because all we got is crappy nuts and a snack pack that was disgusting tasting. So some of you have asked, I went to Nashville and I went to Memphis. Nashville, Tennessee, awesome. You got to go to Broadway Street. What's amazing is the music and how in Nashville they share the music with everybody. So while the people on the inside of the building get to enjoy the band is right there by the window. And so you get to enjoy it on the outside. And Kid Rock has a restaurant, and they have, I think, 4 floors, and there's a band on every floor. Different music, different band. Very cool. A lot of music, a lot of fun. People were partying it up, wearing shorts and boots. I like that. I like wearing boots and shorts. I do. I didn't know if that was the country in me or whatever, but you see that a lot in Nashville. A lot of cowboy hats. You saw places say, we are honored to serve first responders. Very cool. Saw a lot of American flags. And so I was really, really impressed. I thought, Tennessee, really, beautiful state. So many trees. Humid, pretty humid. I'm not used to being sticky because I'm here in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's a dry heat. I like the dry heat over wet, sticky. I don't like being wet and sticky. But we went to Memphis so we could see Graceland. Graceland is amazing. For those of you, you don't have to be a diehard Elvis fan, but the history and the rags to riches story of Elvis is phenomenal. In fact, I think Elvis's grandmother was Jewish or part Jewish, and he was a gospel singer, and he embraced religion. People forget how religious he was. And he was a twin. Many of us have known that. I've known that since I was a kid. He was a twin, and his twin brother had died at birth. I think it was a stillborn. And Elvis went on to be the king of rock and roll. In fact, I think he won Grammys for his gospel songs, but I don't believe he won a Grammy for his rock and roll. There was so much rich history, his cars, the home, if you could see Graceland do so. The tours can get kind of pricey, but you definitely want to do the tour where you could see his costumes and you could see his home. And when he bought it for his family, he was he was a good son. And to see him die so early and having had a career like that, it's difficult. And but what's fascinating also is that there wasn't necessarily like a draft at the time, because Korean War ended in 1953, Vietnam War hadn't started, but he was drafted in 1957. And if you watch the Elvis movie, that came out a couple years ago, and I spoke to my mom and other people who knew about this at the time, Elvis was drafted to get him out of commission. A lot of people did not approve of the people screaming, and people loved Frank Sinatra, but they were completely obsessed with Elvis. And what you saw with the Beatles, that came after Elvis. And so a lot of the county folk did not like seeing people lose their minds. And especially since he had a lot of sexual undertones and with his dancing and things like that. And so he had worried that when he left to do his military service, which he was honored to do, that people wouldn't remember him. Boy, did they. And his career soared. So definitely check that out as well. Don't go away. We'll be right back. 1-877-Doc-Daliah.
Considered by most, optimized curcumin is one of the few bioavailable and highly absorbable curcumin products on the market. Hi, I'm Dr. Mitch. Since most chronic diseases have inflammation, our optimized curcumin seems to be a perfect addition to any nutritional program. It makes sense to me that preventing or reducing inflammation is a key component to our overall health. The Mayo Clinic found that curcumin can decrease swelling and inflammation, has antioxidant properties, and research suggests that curcumin can prevent cancer, or at least slow the spread of cancer, and in many instances make chemotherapy more effective. It protects our healthy cells even from radiation. TotalWellness.com, where we help you to look good, feel good, and enjoy total wellness.
Self-reliance. It's not a phrase we hear much in our culture these days. It might conjure up images of pioneers, the West, rifles, strapping men, and strong women. But what does it mean for us in today's world? The New American Magazine has just released its latest collector's edition, Self-Reliance, Foundation of Freedom. In it, the New American authors outline the necessity of self-reliance for a free people, tips for self-reliant living, and the importance of not giving up hope. This unique edition includes articles on the self-sufficiency of the founders, preparing for a worst-case scenario, firearms, financial self-reliance, the importance of community, and many other topics by expert writers. Now, for a limited time, the New American is offering a bundle of 3 collector's editions: Self-Reliance, The Great Reset, and Trump World for just $19.95. Available at shopjbs.org. Visit shopjbs.org today.
We are back on the Dr. Daliah Show. Thank you all for tuning in. 1-877-Doc-Dali, 1-877-DOC-DALI. So I'm sure many of you have seen this smiling robot face made from live human cells. It's kind of creepy looking, but also cool. A team of scientists at the University of Tokyo and School of Engineering and Applied Sciences at Harvard created a smiling robot face made from live human cells. The scientists were led by Michio Kawai, And they sought to develop a living skin model of cells to cover humanoid robots to allow for true emotive reactions and clearer communication. They made it smiling. They want to attach it to a humanoid robot, allowing machines to emote and communicate in a more lifelike way. I'll pass on that. Thank you. Researchers think it could also be useful for the cosmetics industry. Yeah, I prefer that. If you don't have to test on animals and you could recreate human cells to make this, for us to get safety studies done, that's cool. I do not need my robot to look like a human. I think I prefer my robot to be non-humanoid. So they used certain scaffolds to help create to attach the skin and grow the cells and culture them. And, it is very creepy looking. I'm sorry, guys. It really is creepy. And they're showing what it looks like when a robot has the skin on it. I don't know. The thing, here's the problem. Okay, to maintain your skin, it's very volatile. It's very liquid. It's very, it's liquid. It's in terms of it always needs care. It doesn't just sit. And your skin has to be populated by bacteria, yeast, other pathogens to keep bad pathogens away. And so if you're going to put skin on a robot, how does the robot maintain the skin integrity? How does the robot maintain the skin turgor? How does the robot keep the skin clean? How does the robot clean out the pores or the deposits of it? Skin care is a big issue. And when we don't take care of our skin, it shows. And so they might have been able to do it, but you need to take care of it. That's another conversation I don't think people are really having when it comes to gender care and gender affirming care. If you are going to defy your body's genetic tendency to be a male or female, it is going to take constant work. And you are going to be on medications for life. And is that something that is explained to people? And they might be like, oh, I'm good. I mean, if you told me, Daliah, you could take a pill and be whoever you want to be. You could be skinny. You could be beautiful. Just take this pill for life. I'd be like, yeah, fine by me. But what if I can't access it? What if I can't afford it? What if it's in short supply? That committing to something for life is a little frightening. And I know there's a lot of debate on how we should move forward with gender affirming care in the youth. Already in Europe and England, they're already saying, look, with minors, no. The adults, it's a different story. But with minors, we just don't have enough data to say it's safe. But not in America. They're still, look at what happened in Texas, where that surgical resident, blew the whistle on a hospital that was performing the care. He went to the media instead of the medical board. I don't know if he went to the medical board, but him going to the media, has caused him to now face some HIPAA issues, even though he said there was no identifying information on the records. Because it's kind of a no-no to go to the media, but is it a true HIPAA violation if there was no personal information and ways to expose someone's privacy? So that's going to be debated in the courts. But when we have minors that have to make a decision on if they want to have a baby when they're in their 20s. If you ask me as a teenager, do I want any children? I'd be like, I just want to become a doctor and that's all I'm thinking about right now. Don't ask me. Maybe. I don't know. I would say I don't know if I was 8, 10, 12, 13. And, the permanence of things and the constant care that you need to maintain your hormones. One of the reasons why people don't stick with their mental health medications is that's a pretty big commitment to take something the rest of your life. This is why a lot of women fail with birth control. We have a huge, huge issue of 1 million unintended pregnancies, unwanted pregnancies a year. How could that happen if Obamacare pays for free birth control? There's free condoms everywhere you could access. We have already education in schools and all that. I mean, it's been pretty, pushed down our throats so you could get pregnant with unprotected sex. But is it because it's not practical? I asked you guys a while back, I go, should we have a conversation of our current contraceptive methods and talk to people about why they're getting pregnant despite those accidentally? Is it because taking a daily birth control pill is not realistic? When I was on the birth control pill, I forgot. When you're working 36-hour shifts and you're supposed to take a medicine at the same time every day, it's not easy. That's why these other methods of birth control are becoming more popular, where you get a shot once every 3 months, like the Depo-Provera or the Nexplanon, where it's a implant that they could put in to give you long-lasting birth control, or an IUD to be inserted in the uterus. These are starting to become more popular because people forget to take a pill. And maybe we need to be more realistic. We assume that we can handle everything with a pill. Some people say, look, I could take a daily multivitamin, I'm good. Well, we found that daily multivitamins might not be the panacea for people's health. But I can't remember to take a pill every day. I mean, I could if I had to, but that's why we have pill reminders. I don't like taking pills. I don't like taking medication. We've trained us as humans to take medications, but it's not something we like to do. It's not in our nature to take something external and put it in us when we don't have that initial need or that desire, in hopes that it'll help us be better later. So I think, as we proceed with robots and skin and gender care and abortion rights and all that, we need to understand that there are other issues at play that have to be reinforced, that have to be discussed, that have to be focused on. And to have a child commit for the rest of their life to taking something and in order to maintain it is a lot to ask a young child. And it's inappropriate because we don't understand all the risks. Have we studied those who are taking high dose estrogen for their gender transitioning, what risks they have when they take a plane flight? High doses of estrogen could put you at risk for a blood clot. Do we have studies looking at the the thrombolic events and the thrombogenic issues that people have when they take these high doses of hormones? Again, if you're an adult that wants to transition, all the power to you. You don't want to be in the body you're in. That's that's very challenging. And I understand how you might want to address that medically, since there are medical ways to do that. I get that. But when it comes to a kid, they can't make that decision. 1-877-DOC-DALIAH.
Did you know that healthy arteries make a gas? Yes, actually 3 known gases. Hi, I'm Dr. Mitch, and nitric oxide is a gas that's readily made all day long to keep our arteries open by relaxing the blood vessel walls. By doing this, our circulation is increased, bringing blood, oxygen, and nutrients to every part of your body. Both age and poor diet can lead to a loss of this precious gas, and in turn, blood pressure can go up, energy can go down, and you can get tingling in your hands and feet. Well, our product, Ultimate Nitric Oxide, can easily help fix this lack of nitric oxide. Go to TotalWellness.com. That's TotalWellness.com, where we are helping you to look good, feel good, and enjoy total wellness.